afternoon, welcome back to Wipeout 4, and this is going to be a video response to Mr. feedmechicken. So he's just done his video response himself. He did it with Wasabi James, and the question is, what 5 games do you go back to? There's a lot of games that they picked out as well, which are absolutely stone cold classics. A lot of my games are more kind of recent, not retro as such. In fact, there's no retro really. The earliest I go back would be PS1, N64 kind of era. But to kick off, I'm going to pick this one that's a digital, that I have digitally only, sorry. You can't get a physical one, but I don't have it at the moment. And it's Wipeout, but it's more Wipeout the Omega Collection, and I absolutely love playing Wipeout the Omega Collection, and I always go back to it. Every couple of months I'll go back and just play a couple of races and just try and beat some times and beat some of the challenges, things like that. This year I did finish it. I finished the campaigns within Omega Collection, but that's taken years upon years of going back and forth and jumping in, jumping out. But the thing about Wipeout Omega Collection is the VR mode, and I just love playing it in VR. It's the only way that I will play it now going forward. It's the only way. I absolutely love it. I remember a while ago a film ages and ages ago, Hackers, with Angelina Jolie and Johnny Lee Miller. I remember there was a bit in Hackers where they were playing like this big screen Wipeout, like they were standing in this kind of, I don't know, podium, and they were playing Wipeout, and I just thought it looked amazing, but way back in the day when I seen that. But this just takes it to another level, playing it in VR. I know a lot of people may not be able to play it in VR because motion sickness in this game is very intensive when it starts to get going. When you get up to the higher levels, it's absolutely face-meltingly fast. It's so fast, but it's so good. I absolutely love playing it. So the person I'm going to tag related to that game would be someone I saw playing it. I think maybe a year ago, maybe now. He was streaming a bit of VR, and he was showing a bit of that as well. And it's retro baked, so I'm interested to see what 5 games he constantly goes back to. I know he's a big 8-bit micro kind of guy. He loves all the older retro kind of games. But I do remember watching him play that on VR, and it was just mad. It's just such a good game. I absolutely love Wipeout VR, Wipeout Omega Collection. The next one, I'll stick with VR, and again it's only digital. I've only got it digitally, sorry, but I do have one of the other games in the series, and it's Tetris. This is a good game as well, actually. Tetris DS. This is a really good little time killer. Like, it's got so many different little game modes and things like that, and it's all Nintendo kind of flavoured. It's just really good. But that's not the game I'm talking about. It's Tetris Effect, and again I only play that on VR. It's absolutely brilliant, and anybody that listens to me will know that I love Tetris Effect in VR, and I tell my little brother this all the time. It's one of the best VR experiences, and he thinks I'm absolutely daft. He thinks I'm off my head, but it's so good. It's so zen. You can just put the headset on, stick it on, the music, the colours, and you can waste hours upon hours just playing Tetris in VR. And you get the effects mode and things like that. There's so different kind of challenges, and you get the weekly ritual, so you have to kind of go to certain kind of challenges to get points to add towards the world goal, and then you get new avatars and things like that. It's just such an addictive game. Tetris is addictive throughout the 40 years or whatever it has been out for. But the Tetris Effect is just the pinnacle for me, because I absolutely love playing the games in VR. The person I'm going to tag with regards to that, and I know that he's been nominated already, but he's an absolute fiend when it comes to Tetris. I think he's 1000 G'd Tetris Effect on the Xbox, and I think he was going to go for the Platinum. Anyway, it's Ross at Bahaha. So I know that he's been tagged already, and hopefully he's giving a wee push to see if we can get a video out of him, see what games he constantly goes back to. That would be a good one to watch as well. The next one is going to be Mario Party, but it's Mario Party 2 on the N64. I played a lot of Mario Parties. I've not played them all, but I play a lot of them, and this is by far the best Mario Party in my opinion. Pardon me, sorry. We did get Jay Mario Party on the Switch a couple of years ago for his Christmas, and then we got the more recent one as well. The more recent one's really good. It's got like a big mishmash of, there's games from Mario Party in the new one as well. But for me, this is absolutely brilliant. We play this quite often. We don't have the N64 set up downstairs, but when it's the winter and just cozy nights, the curtains closed and everything, this is just a game that we just spend hours and hours on. And the good thing about it is as well, it's got like a level playing field. It doesn't matter if you're great at games or shite at games, you can still have a great time playing like Mario Party games. There's a mini game in particular called Honeycomb Havoc. That is fantastic, and it's so simple. All you need to do in it really is count to 2. That's it. You just have to be able to count to 2. With the fruit falling down and then the beehives and things like that. And depending on who Jay is more pally with on the day, he will team up with either me or his mum, and and just try and get each other out. He's a wee glory hunter. He'll go with whoever's winning at the time. But Mario Party 2, absolutely brilliant. Love it. The person I'll tag in relation to this one would be Mr. Nintendo himself, Steve at Cooper's World. Be interesting to see what games he constantly goes back to. Big Nintendo fan, obviously, so it'd be interesting to see if any other games sneak in there. But I think actually I think he did a top 5 or something, or top 10, and his number 1 game wasn't a Nintendo game, which was interesting. But I won't spoil that in case he puts it on a video. But yeah, Steve Cooper's World. That's who I'll tag with that one. And then the next one, again, a fairly recent one, only a couple of years ago. But we always played. We, as a family, played it. As a family, we got platinum on it, and we absolutely love it. The music, the colours, the graphics, the accessibility. It's just so easy to get into and so hard to put down. It's super addictive. But that is Horizon Chase Turbo. Absolutely brilliant. Love this game. And recently I just heard that there's going to be a sequel coming out, which I can't wait for. At the moment I think it was, is it Apple Arcade? I think it's going to come out on the phones, but then it's going to come out on the consoles as well eventually, so definitely going to be picking that up. But Horizon Chase Turbo, absolutely brilliant. Platinumed it, and then we did it all with the Ayrton Senna as well. So because when you platinumed it and then the Ayrton Senna DLC came out, the trophy bar would go down to like 70% because you had the DC, you had the DLC, sorry. But again, it wasn't a chore to play. Like, we absolutely love playing it constantly, time and time again. Love it. Horizon Chase Turbo, classic game. One of the best games to come out in the last couple of years for sure, and it's just so simple. The person who I'll tag on this would be James, Retro and Import Gamer. Retro and Import Gamer UK. I can't remember, but yeah, his collection's immense. Like, I'm really interested to see what 5 games he constantly goes back to. As his name suggests, he's got a lot of retro, a lot of import, a lot of retro import, like just loads and loads and loads of games. So it'll be interesting to see what he goes back to constantly. The next game I'm gonna cheap out on, it's one of the best games ever made, and that's why I go back to it constantly, at least once a year. I'm going to be a bit cliched, but I have to mention it because it is a very, very important game to me and for, I think, video gaming in general. and it's Metal Gear Solid. Like, absolutely brilliant game. I don't know how I could have done this video without mentioning Metal Gear Solid. I just think it's the pinnacle in storytelling, and you know, when it first came out, it was just so different. It was just so good. Like, I don't know how else to put it. It even still holds up today. The graphics aren't great and the controls aren't brilliant, but this is the most authentic way to play Metal Gear Solid, in my opinion. I do have the Twin Snakes as well, which I do play as well. I don't know which one I prefer. I mean, this is the most authentic one, the original, but this one just makes it easier to play. It's got the kind of Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty engine. It's a lot smoother. Graphics are obviously better. I think this is probably the best way to play it, but this is the most authentic way to play it, and this is the most true way to play it. It's so hard to choose, and this gets slated quite a lot because of the cutscenes where were very, I don't know, more Hollywood, more kind of Matrixy. I absolutely love it. I don't think it deserves the hate it gets from those kind of corners of the internet. It's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I think the original is the way to play it. I don't know. I'm really torn between which way I would prefer to play it. But Metal Gear Solid, in general, absolutely brilliant. And I enjoyed all the games in the series that I've played. I've never played the original ones, so I think it's Solid Snake and I can't even remember what they're called just now. Metal Gear on the NES, MSX. I've never played them ones, but I know you can get them on the Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence disc, which I don't have, which I'd love to get. Anyway, the person who I'm going to tag in relation to that would be somebody that's not somebody who I talk to quite a lot on Twitter, and he's got a channel, but he's not done anything with it. I think he's only got like 12 or 13 views. His last two videos he put out were a year ago, and then his videos prior to that were like 10 years ago, so he doesn't use YouTube as much as I think he should, because he took a picture and showed it on Twitter, and his game room looks immense, and he's always playing games and he's always posting screenshots of the games that he's played, and that's how we kind of started talking and interacting. So I'd love to see him get back onto his YouTube and start YouTubing. And his name's Steve Massart. His Twitter handle is 4V. It's PHORV. I would love to see him just to get back into YouTube. I've never seen his channel before I started talking to him on Twitter, so it'd be interesting to see if he wants to try and get back into doing some YouTube and stuff. But yeah, those would be my 5 picks and my 5 nominations. Anyway, thanks a lot guys. I know there wasn't much retro there, but if I have to be completely honest with myself, I don't play that much retro. I do play retro now and again, but I don't. Retro doesn't seem to kind of like sink its claws into me at the moment anyway. But anyway guys, thank you very much and cheers for watching.